Decent penetration.
Pretty sexy.
Hey!
Big old dangleberry. You pay Gucci prices, you get Gucci parts.
Yes.
Hello, welcome back to the channel. Working on Chris's Mark III race car, the MTS Mark III or 1600i race car, and in the previous video you'd have seen us bolting in, it's a mock-up Duratec 2 litre with a SADEV 6-speed sequential gearbox, and we made a start on the engine mounts, the gearbox mount and the engine mounts, reinforcing the chassis rails, and Chris and Paul basically cracked on, did a night without me because I've been busy decorating the house. Got the engine level, they worked on obviously making sure it's sort of the right height and the right orientation and positioning it within the bay, getting the drive shafts level, tack weld up the mounts, and then obviously they've dropped them off to me so that I can TIG weld them. But unfortunately I did ask for them to linish the scale back and V it out, which they haven't done, so I'm probably going to have to measure what they've done, break the tack welds off and then prep the bits properly, because this is going to be under a lot of strain. I'm technically putting my name to it. I don't want to see Chris ripping round Donington, for example, and an engine mount fall off. So yeah, now's the time. I think I'm going to have to annoyingly break these apart, but do it right, do it once. I think it'll be worth it in the end. That's the gearbox mount. That's the cam chain side. This is obviously the big oversized plate that goes on the inner wing. And again, we could trim this back. We're going to put some extra holes in it and some more reinforcements on that. And this is the one that goes up on the driver's side. So that they've obviously opted to do that as a bolt-on piece. And again, we can add loads more strength to this. We're in the form of gussets and plates and whatever. I've also quickly worked out this template, so I can cut this out, tape that on there, center punch this, and we can add some speed holes to, because this is turning into quite a lump, and I do like to over engineer stuff, but bearing in mind this is going on a race car, lightweight is 3 horsepower, so we'll get some weight out of that for him. Let's break the welds off this, start cleaning it all up. Big whack. Booyah. On hot rolled steel, you've really got to get this black scale off, so you're down to like the shiny stuff. Also, if you ever get stuff laser cut and it's cut with oxygen, you get this black edge. You really got to get rid of that as well, because welding it's a nightmare, and even powder coating doesn't always stick onto it. So you need to linish all this off as well. So this is a good reason why you need to prep the material, because I've literally just whacked that with a hammer, and these 2 tacks haven't even penetrated through the black scale. You can see there. So that's before I've prepped it all up, and that's it after. I've also V'd the bottom so that when we pop it down we can get a nice weld that goes right into the corner as opposed to sitting it on top. And I've done the same up here where we're going to put the tube so we can get some decent penetration on it now.
Decent penetration.
Okay, so I've kind of jigged it all up. Luckily we got some 25 offcuts that fit nicely down there, so I can squeeze them together, get that all parallel, and I'm just going to tack it with the MIG, and then I'll run over it with a TIG. Here's the plan. But yeah, this should weld a lot nicer now.
Just going to blub it in.
And then this little bit, bosh, slots in there.
Like a glove.
Right, so I've kind of welded all that up with a TIG welder, and I've just got these little gussets, so we're just going to stick them in there, and then I think I'm going to plate around here, plate up there, and that should be a pretty strong little unit.
It's a lovely little gusset.
Right, so that's the gussets welded in, and now time for the little MTS Motorsport plate for the top. Take 2, plate for the top. Just going to weld that on, give it a bit of class.
A few moments later.
Right, so that's the first mount welded up. I am gonna pepper it with holes, don't forget. Take some of the weight out of it. But pretty pleased with that. It looks pretty strong. I might just put a little rectangle in there just to tie across the bottom, just to give it another little vertical plane. Do the same on this side. But apart from that, pretty sexy. Okay, with these mounts, I can't really break them apart to clean them up properly, so I've kind of got in there with a little finger sander as best I can and a Dremel. Got a big old hole to plug weld up in now. I'm just going to gun these up with a MIG for now, because as I said, I can't really clean them up properly to TIG them. So gun them up with a MIG, and then I'm going to try and work out ways of actually adding some strength to them, sort of lateral strength to them, and maybe some gussets going down here. This one I'm not too sure. I might just put a plate down along this side and maybe a little gusset or triangle in here just to add a bit more, yeah, front and back sort of strength, tight all together. I probably would have wanted this plate to carry on down here, so we could have put the gusset down on the front here.
Lovely little gusset.
In my opinion, we might end up welding this in, because I'm not sure that just 2 bolts on this. This is the timing chain mount, and I'm not sure that just 2 bolts on that side with no sort of side bolt is going to be sufficient, but we'll have a chat when it's all back in the car. It's one of those, yeah, working out what the best route is, kind of a bit of an unknown, but I don't know, 2 bolts. On this one we're going to have probably about 4 when we're finished with it. I'd like to have 4 on the other side, but we'll see. But yeah, let's gun them up, see where we end up. Chris, you got some toilet reading here, haven't you?
Yeah.
So right, we're back down at the garage. The car hasn't had much progress because Chris had to give back the dummy box, which was a bit of a gutter. We had plans of getting the exhaust done, but yeah, the dummy box had to go back, and then we've been waiting for quite a while for this to turn up. Hey! SADEV gearbox, 6-speed sequential. This has come from France, yeah?
Yeah, it came to
a little bit of a wait, but with all of the...
Well, October.
Yeah, but with all the issues with I don't know, materials and supply chains, it's here now. So now we can mock it up, get the engine mounts finalised, and send it off to Simpsons Racing for the exhaust.
Yeah, Matt, he's going to do the exhaust. So fingers crossed, he's going to squeeze us in. He's a busy boy, so he's kindly said just drop it down there, leave it with us. As long as I don't pester him, he said I'll get it done as soon as I can. So yeah, fingers crossed. We're aiming for not kill of all tracks. So.
Oh, is that when we?
That's my aim. Yeah.
Should we get this out then? And
yeah,
have a look at it.
This out.
Right. So you do your battery and I'll get it on camera.
So there we go. Obviously we've got the clutch slave came with it. We've got to make a pipe out for that. We realised this one's got the built-in oil pump, so we've now got making an oil cooler for this.
Oh, it's got its own external oil pump.
Yeah, it has. We've managed to work out what sensor, because everything's in French, so I'm trying to work out which sensor does what. That's obviously reverse.
Yeah.
This is your position sensor.
Oh, what for the gear?
What gear you're in. And then that will obviously go off to my ECU and my DTA. This one will obviously go to the DTA as well, and that, because this is linked to the shifter.
So is it a mechanical, still a mechanical rod to go into?
Yeah, I'll show you the rod, because it's like 3 foot long and I've got to bend it.
Oh really?
Yeah, well, we're going there, we'll get it all out there in a sec.
I'll bring it all in here.
Yeah, that's cool. And then obviously this sensor will pick up any movement of when I move the lever, it will send a signal.
The potentiometer?
Yeah, it's form, I think so.
Is that to kill the...
yeah, the ignition.
Ignition stuff. So
or ignition or fuel cut or retard cut, either or.
More boxes.
Yeah, so we have...
I knew you wouldn't be able to resist opening these up before.
No, I got excited. So there's our there's our shifter.
Mate, look at that, big old dangleberry.
So that
look at this, is that a cast?
Yeah.
Serious, but I suppose you are hanging off it, aren't you? You don't want it to...
Yeah, we feel like we've got to extend that by about 2 inches in, we to bring up.
Yeah. Have you offered it up in the car?
Oh, of course.
Come on, let's go and have a look.
Go on.
Oh, all right.
That's the bar that we might have to bend.
Do like oxyacetylene and...
Yeah.
Well, no, actually, I'm going to...
from there
it's actually...
to there.
So it just goes through the bulkhead and...
Yeah.
Yeah, but because it's quite high up, we're going to have to...
Do a little...
Yeah.
So then I'm going to speak to you, Mike, because you're going to have to...
Bend that.
Bend that.
over my knee.
Over your knee, but we're going to have to weld
Yeah.
you. You're going to have to weld that.
Oh yeah, that's easy. Enough.
Yeah? So if you can help us, that'd be awesome.
Yeah. No worries, of course.
So, can Tyrell make engine noises? Huh?
It's got to sound like a 2-litre Duratec on
Do the
throttle
pops
bodies.
and bangs. Excuse the mess in here, guys.
Oh, so you're using a bit of 2x2 for your...
Just a rough estimate. So
I'll come around the other side.
So yeah, that's what I think. So it's just a little bit
higher, raise it up.
Yeah, just raise up so I can knock it forward to knock it down, and then going up down the gear. So that's roughly.
That's quite an upgrade from your what would have been RS Turbo.
RS Turbo BC box.
BC box and rod shifter.
Yeah.
It did the job though.
No, I have no problem. The gearbox is mint. You know, that's another £4 gearbox sitting there as we speak. But it's a BC box. Not a lot of people use it.
Doesn't fit on your.
Won't fit the Duratec, no. And it's got a gripper plated diff in it as well, so it's quite hard to drive.
Yeah.
I used to find it hurts my hands, especially when I was at Donington Park, when I come out of the hairpin, because it's got slightly
bit of a camber. Yeah.
One wheel's grabbing harder than the other.
Oh, does it pull?
Oh yeah, and I literally have to hold on. When I come off, my hands
you haven't gone for the electric power steering yet?
No, I'm not a type of all like Paul Neville and Jimmy and all them lot boys, so no. That's where we think with that. Take that down.
Yeah, wicked. And did you get any other drive? The drive shaft's got to be custom made.
So the plan is next.
Do the unveil. God, Jesus.
Yeah.
The hell's that off? That's
been
I know it's custom made. But
Yeah,
custom
custom
made.
That's by SADEV as well.
No, SWR.
It's got some weight to it as well.
Yeah. Is it SWR? Or is it? Well, there's no SADEV part number, so that would be SWR.
The size of the splines on it.
Yeah.
Well. Jesus.
Does it fit?
Oh, they sent you one for a Fliss mic.
Do you know all this hard work? I need to see if it fits. Can I put it in?
Yeah.
Oh, like a glove.
Like a glove. Look at that.
That's lovely, isn't it?
What oil do you put in it? Do they specify?
I've got the oil.
No, it comes
I'll show you that.
Super expensive.
Yeah, everything's expensive.
Oh, and what about the bearing carrier? Let's have a look at the bearing carrier. Yes.
Bell housing.
And these are the engines that you got from the race the other day?
Yeah, from Daz Owen. Kindly donated these engines to me. A couple of spare ones for Vulcan Engineering and HT boys, but one for me as well for mock-up purposes and just in case if we have a horrendous.
Yeah, I saw his truck. It was full to the
ram.
Parts all the modified Ford boys.
Yeah, so Daz Owen, recycle company. Yeah, donated these. I've got to run his stickers on it, but yeah, lovely guy.
Yeah, good trade.
Absolutely. He's great to be a part of with the modified Fords of Tow because we're so resourceful like that.
Looking after each other.
Absolutely, because racing is so expensive, and you know. But so okay, this is our bell housing.
Yeah.
From SWR, that would obviously bolt onto here.
Apart from the fact you sent your bolts back with the mock-up double.
Yeah. Jacob said, I rang Jacob at SWR. I said, "Oh, can you send me some bolts back?" What do you mean? I said, "Well, I sent the dummy box with your bolts." He went, "Oh, okay." So he legged it downstairs to see.
And then this thing, look at that.
And this thing is the bracket that sits onto the block. Assume like that.
Yeah.
And let me see if that clip's got a nice little clip.
Yeah, I'd say I could have made that, but it would not have been anywhere near as nice as that. It's got like a proper little retaining clip for the bearing, all CNC out of a bit of billet. Looks like it's been anodised as well.
Yeah, it looks like it's got a coating. Same sort of stuff on the housing.
Well, you pay Gucci prices, you get Gucci parts.
Exactly. That will go there.
Nice.
And then we've got, this is the little bracket that I need you to weld on for the upside.
Yeah, no worries.
I need you to tick that.
And that goes in the box in.
This will be box end, then the rose joint up to there. So that's that. And then we've got these massive
They're the CVs.
CV cups. And they're from SADEV. From there.
So then your custom shaft's got to hang out of that.
So they go, that one goes in
the box.
In the box.
So have you got the tri there?
It's all inside there.
Wicked.
Do you want me to get it out?
That's right, I know.
You sure?
Because you don't want to get dust and stuff in it. You dry sump bits are turning up hopefully tomorrow.
Dry sump bits are turning up tomorrow.
Hopefully.
So we need to yeah, get that all mocked up with a mock-up engine, get it all hung back in the bay with the mounts, and then dry sump on. Did you get the oil? There's that oil bracket thing that goes on the front of the engine.
Yeah.
You got all that?
Yeah, everything.
So everything now, aside from like
sump, oil pump, oil remote housing.
Yeah. So then we can do the. We can work out maybe doing the mounts front and back.
Yeah.
Because I was chatting to Adam about it, and he says a lot of boys don't run a front mount, so we could make that cool. I'll speak to Kester about it as well, and see what he suggests, what he recommends. But yeah, then you can go and get the exhaust done. Yes. And then it's just radiator and cooling, isn't it? Yeah. And putting the throttle bodies on, cutting the front panel up to run all the trumpets out the front.
That's it. Yeah.
Sucky.
Yeah. Oh mate, it's a work of art. The kind of like the build quality on it. It looks like something for the aircraft industry. Do you know what I mean? If you ever see like all of the machining and and everything about it, even the connectors and stuff, it all looks like you'd see it on a. I don't know. Yeah. And they've like, is this all wire locked as well?
It's all
lock wired down here. Look.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, it's all wire locked.
These are helicoiled, so that they're not just relying on a tap.
No, and they look like you've got shoulders on to stop them coming out.
Yeah. You're an animal putting it straight on the concrete floor though.
Yeah.
Don't worry about that. I'm going to be winning races, mate. I'm going to be a front runner.